morning, guys.
Morning.
Yes, good morning. We are heading back out of Florida back to Virginia. If you've been following, we came down here for a week to basically excuse the sun in front of
Hold
us.
on, baby. It's Friday, and it's my birthday too. So,
Yes.
happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to you, baby. He is 75, y'all. Getting up there. Full of great wisdom. So yes, we thank God for his life. We've been in Florida 7 days. Oh no, 5 days. Today's Friday. We came down on Monday to look at properties in person. We've been preaching, you need to go down, see things for yourself. Yes, it's great for realtors to show you videos, pictures, but it's great to be here. So we wanted to wrap this up, this version of vacation work. It was more than work. It wasn't nothing vacation about this. But at least we got out of the city to come experience what country air. He said the country air smells different, so he wanted me to come.
Perfect.
Come experience country air, so we did. But I think follow up to the video from yesterday. Yesterday we voiced our frustration with relatives and having to do all the footwork because nobody wants to get out. Yeah, it's hard, but at the same time you're making money. But that's in a different video from yesterday, so you can go watch that. But to say, if you already haven't subscribed and followed, please do, because on this channel we are sharing our lives moving from city to going off grid or going to rural living. And so we're working with you on a daily basis, our experience on this journey in terms of our lives in the city, process of
In 2
moving
miles,
from the
use the
city.
second from the right lane to take exit 356 for I-295 north towards Savannah.
So moving from the city to the rural life in terms of finding land, and that's the process where we are now. If you go back to the videos we've shared about clearing our credits, building savings, now we are finding the land. And yes, the finances we still need to work on. Coming down here, we found so many things and so many options, and that was a good thing for us to come down here and say we wanted to see what our options are. And especially with me coming from the city to the rural life, I needed to see, and I loved it. Right, even where Live Oak and what's the other Lake City, where I was thinking it's going to be a city. I love seeing animals roaming around on people's land. I love the landscape, the green, the grass. It is just beautiful. So I love this life.
In half a mile, use the second
I
from the
am-
right lane to take exit 356 for I-295 north towards Savannah.
I am more excited going into rural living, seeing this. So thank you for exposing me to that. But going back to what we've learned so far, we wanted to talk about different loans. Loan
Use the
options.
second from the right lane to take exit 356.
Loan options that was presented to us. So there was FHA
In a quarter
loan.
mile, slide left onto the I-295 north ramp to International Airport, Savannah.
We tell you it's unscripted, so you get everything in it. So we have FHA loan, we have FHA 203K.
Slide left onto the I-295 north ramp.
We have
Continue on I-295 north for 14 miles.
SDA loan, USDA loan, sorry, and conventional loan. So you have all these loans, loan options available to you going into agricultural or rural living. So depending on one, your credit, two, the type of property you're looking at, and also your finances, because all of these have requirements. I think the USDA was the only one based on your credit, didn't require any down payment. FHA and FHA restrictions are very high. The property should be livable. It shouldn't have, there are specific things that the property has to meet. And with us looking at manufactured homes, it was very strict on the properties that we were finding. Most of them needed work and they didn't qualify for FHA. We could have gone with FHA 203K, but also the down payment, it was down payment, what else? That the 203K. So the 203K give you the option of
It's got higher
interest rate. So the 203K gives you room to make construction changes and improvements and all those things. So that was a better option, but it had higher interest rate. The USDA was great, but you don't get more depending on your credits, right?
And then it's a governmental loan, so they're a little strict. You have to have things in place a lot, like the foundation has to be, if it's an older mobile home, it needs to be, it basically has to be a newer model, and foundation needs to be redone if it's old. There's a lot of things in there, but the FHA and the USDA are kind of similar. There's just the FHA is like really a little bit more strict.
So these loans, they're all great depending on where you're trying to go to. But at the same time, it's frustrating if your finances is not all there, and you're not finding something in your price range, because we do have a budget that we're trying to stay in, and at the same time we're trying to pay this off as quick as possible. So we don't want something too expensive where we stack 30 years with a mortgage of for 200 and then 250 and all. We're not looking for that. So it's been hard having a budget and not finding what you actually want. So, long story short, we couldn't find anything in our price range. Those things that we found didn't qualify for the loans that we wanted to be qualified for. And so we're going back to the drawing board. Now we are thinking, okay, how about we continue to build our savings so we can pay as much off as possible and take out a little loan, or even look into auctions. Maybe we can build our savings and just buy something off auction so we don't have to take out any loan. And so that's where we are, but it's not disappointing. I don't want to use the word disappointing. It's a learning experience that I really appreciate being exposed to these 5 days.
And so, just like my wife said, yes, it's very important to stack up cash. And the one big, major thing that you have to do is you have to make sure, it doesn't matter, I don't care what kind of job you're doing, I don't care how much money they're paying you. You don't have to make millions to be able to buy a home, no. But you have to make sure your debt is not your debt. It's not more than what you are making. That is one huge deal. If you got you a brand new car that is worth $40,000-$50,000, that you also owe some other loans on it, and you are not making enough, but you can have a nice chunk in the bank, that still don't mean nothing, because at the end of the day, they're going to look at your debt to debt to money ratio, debt to income ratio, and if it's not adding up, you will not get the loan. That you can take off one thing and you can get $225,000 or $250,000, but then with that car or with that loan that you have already, is always going to stop you. So make sure your debt to income ratio is very important to make sure you cut that down. You know, get you a auction car, something you don't have a car payment on. Make sure you are cutting these loans down. Student loans, credit cards, cut all those down. Once you walk into a lender's office, trust me, they're going to be clapping for you and give you any money you want, and you can buy whatever you want. And also, one very important thing too about the land, about the property, just because you looked at it and it looks good, the house looks good, please get your feet and get up there on the ground. Look at it. Two things that's very important. Most sellers will sell the property with pictures that they will post. They'll post pictures of when the property was beautiful, when the grass was cut, when everything was cleared. So now you get up there in person, you will realize, okay, 6 years later, 10 years later, it does not look like that. And that is gonna hit you hard. So please, don't let anybody go look at your places for you. You yourself go there. If it is yours, you will connect with it. And also the flood zone. Please, after you've looked up deed restrictions, if you want to do this rural life, you need to make sure there is no deed restrictions. If there are some deed restrictions, it's very little. Some will say they don't even want pigs there. Some will say they don't want goats there. Some will say you need to make sure your goats and pigs are 200 feet away from the main fence. Some will say we don't want no peacocks. Make sure you read all that. Make sure you click all the way when you see the property, go all the way through it. And click on the climate risk and everything, and click on your flood zone. If it's 1 out of 10, that means you are flood zone X, flood zone XE, flood zone whatever. But please make sure you are not getting something that's gonna flood. You get something 5 out of 10, yes. Now we find a property, we find a land, beautiful land, but most of it is flood zone. And then there's a little corner that you can put a house there without having flood insurance. Flood insurance is not easy to have. And if you're going into this trying to have a life and pay it off quick and live a life, you don't want to tag on any extra bills. Flood insurance, who wants to carry that? No. So make sure you are getting all your ducks in a row. Make sure everything is right, and then make sure, because most people, oh my God, this is a beautiful. We saw mobile homes that were like almost 400,000, triple wides, beautiful. But no, I ain't getting that. We ain't getting that. We want to get something that we know it's pretty. You can come in, you can fix it up, make it wide, add on to it, make it work, and then live your life, pay it off, and not have to worry about the man all the time. So these are the things that we want to share with you guys. If there's any specific questions that you all want to ask, put it in the comment section. We have a ton of knowledge. We have a ton of things that we learned from this trip alone. Only 5 days. And man, if you're not there, you will say it wasn't there. But trust me, you need to be there to learn it. You need to be there to adapt to it. You need to be there to figure it out. Trust me, we have the money, a chunk of money sitting there, but we want to have at least 2-3 times that. We would like to have 2-3 times that. I'm not saying we're going to wait till we get that before we do it, but it is smart to pay as much down as possible. You can get all kinds of stuff, buy land, pull, and then now Florida, the North Florida area is going up through the roof. Things that used to be 8 to 10,000 an acre, right now it's 20, 30, 40,000 an acre. So if you look at properties that you could have found 120 or 130,000 good condition, now those are 200,000. So it's not feasible, but we'll be back. We're going to work it out. We're going to go figure this out, and we'll be back. And it's a learning curve, but you would never know. You would be frustrated sitting at home instead of being there. It was like a vacation, but it was more work because we really beat the lands. We really beat the streets. This car is beat up, ashy, and dirty because we drove the, dirt roads. So get out there, get yourself in there, and let your mind and your
In 2
skills
miles, use the
talk
left
to
lane to take exit 35
do the
toward
work.
I-95 North.
do the work for you versus you think you got the money, so I'm gonna let my money talk. Because that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. So, thank you for hanging with us. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and follow. Share with someone wanting to go into living off-grid, living debt-free life. That's where we try to get into. If you have questions, suggestions, we are open to that. Please let it be. And we'll continue to share. Peace out.
Keep growing.